Good morning, afternoon, and good night whenever you're watching this. My name is Mitch, and I am an alcoholic, and I have your daily reflections for June 19th. This comes from the Daily Reflections book of Reflections for Alcoholics Anonymous members by Alcoholics Anonymous members. Today's reflection is called AA Regeneration. Such is the paradox of AA Regeneration, strength arising out of complete defeat and weakness, the loss of one's old life as a condition for finding a new one. That comes from AA Comes of Age, page 46. And before I continue, just want to say what a true statement that is. Such strength comes from fighting this disease. It's really a tough thing to do, because not everyone feels it like the way an alcoholic will feel it. We feel pretty hopeless, and when you get through those moments and you go through those bad times sober, you come out insanely stronger. And it's something I'm going through still. I'm early in my sobriety, but I've finally got it. It's pretty amazing. And it continues. 1,000 Beatings by John Barleycorn did not encourage me to admit defeat. I believed it was my moral obligation to conquer my enemy friend. At my first AA meeting, I was blessed with the feeling that it was all right to admit defeat to a disease which had nothing to do with my moral fiber. I knew instinctively that I was in the presence of a great love when I entered the doors of AA. With no effort on my part, I became aware that to love myself was good and right, as God had intended. My feelings set me free. Where my thoughts had held me in bondage, I am grateful. I always say this because I would do some really dumb things, and I would lie, and I would be it was like white lies. I just didn't want to come to terms with me hurting people's feelings. I've lied about stuff that I'm not proud of as well, but my morals have always been good. I am a good person. I'm an empath, and I truly care about people and love everyone. And sometimes that would play to my disadvantage, because I would try to justify little white lies that I would do, and of course, they all come around and they end up hurting people worse than they would if you had just told the truth in the very beginning. A lesson I have learned now. But I've always known I was a good person, but it was these things that I would do while I was actively drinking or using, and those are the bad things that can weigh on you, because you're a good person. I truly believe almost every single one of us are good people. So we would do these bad things while we're drunk, and we would not want to remember them. And it snowballs, so you continue to want to drink and hide from these feelings and pain that you've went through, people that you've hurt, and lies that you've said to yourself even. So you just numb it out with alcohol or drugs, and you never come to terms with what you actually need to do to change this. Like, what is wrong with you that you're even doing this in the first place? You can't hide from these problems. Like they say that alcohol and drugs are just a symptom of the underlying issues, which we all carry around with us. Not everyone, but a majority of people do carry around this anxiety, depression, and we can't beat that by hiding from it with alcohol and drugs. We never solve anything. You have to face those fears and go through the growing process and the growing pains, like I'm always saying, to learn anything. And I promise it will change you, and you will now have a better understanding of how to handle bad situations in your life. And of course, these bad situations are still going to come, because the world is full of very bad things, and just because you're sober, it's not going to stop being that way. We're going to still come across problems where our addict brain will try to justify, oh, I need a drink. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. You got to think about it. You have to go through it. It hurts, but that's life. And be happy that we're alive to even feel that hurt. Try to think that, like, at least I'm feeling something right now. because there's some people that just aren't feeling anything, and it's very sad. And you are just thankful that you have this new peace and understanding, and you can pass it on to other people, because that is the whole point. Like I also always say, and AA says, it's not me, I'm just learning from what I've learned from being in the program and from people that have more time than me, some people less time, because time really doesn't matter. It's all about one day at a time. You just gain knowledge from everyone. You could gain knowledge from someone in the hall on their very first day. We talk about that a lot too. Recently, there's a guy that I know that he's now out relapsed, and they've seen him recently, and he's just living under a bridge, skin and bones, hooked on heroin. And as selfish as it is, that has helped me, because this was a very young, good looking guy, and he's probably going to die, and we've tried our best to help him. And that's where it's scary, because we all know people where they have to get the help for themselves. You can't make someone do it, and it's a very sad, difficult thing. And that's also why Al-Anon is very important, because some people that are in a relationship, whether it be family or a significant other, watching a loved one go through it is miserable and hard. But we become addicted to these people, and we love them so much, we feel like we could change them, but at a certain point you're just enabling them too. And you got to let people go. You can't fix them. They have to fix it for themselves. And sometimes letting them go is the best thing you can do for them, because it seems like at the time that it's best to continue to help them and be in their life, but really that's just enabling them. As sad and scary as it could be, you have to let them go. And there's a chance they could die and never come back, but there's also that chance that your love is so strong, and they do love you and you know it, that they're going to realize in your absence, what the heck am I doing? Why am I doing this? Also, it's just a great feeling when you go into a hall and you do feel great. You have that camaraderie where you can talk to someone about all the bad things you've done, and they totally relate and understand exactly what you've went through, and you can laugh about it. It's not funny stuff, but it's good to be able to talk to someone about it, and they understand exactly what it is, as compared to telling someone like a normie at work or something the things you've done, because they just won't get it the same. It's a sad, sickening disease that can really mess your life up, as we all know. And I just hope I can help anyone with these videos. And again, just trust me, go through these pains. If you're in that pain right now, it will be okay. Don't go back to your old ways. Your old ways didn't work. So as Tupac said, the old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we got to do to survive. Just had to throw that in there. But I really wish the best for you guys. I hope you're doing good. And if you've not went to a meeting yet, go to a meeting. Even if you don't think you're an alcoholic, you're just maybe curious. You might have an idea. You might be. Go to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. There's nothing wrong with it. It's an hour of your time, and you can talk to some other people, and it can change your life. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, and you can go back to the ways that you think are working for you. Most likely they're not, if you're even contemplating going there in the first place, because it took me many a time. It took me a good 10 years to actually get it. Yeah, about 10 years on and off. And we all come up with these excuses on why we can drink, which is also, I'm going to talk about this for a second. It's just very slippery slope as well, because we can't, oh man, they talk about in the big book, I'm going to switch from drinking whiskey to beer. I'm telling you from experience, if you already are saying that, or picking a day to do it and that kind of stuff, it's not going to work. It just isn't. It's the way the disease works. And also, like it says, our hat's off to the people that can drink like that. But as an alcoholic, we can't do it. I can't do a lot of stuff I used to do. I can't smoke weed anymore, because there's a chance that could lead me back to drinking. I just have to be happy with life, and I am happy with life, and it is very good. I think those kind of things, back to trying to rationalize why we can do it a little bit, it just won't work out well. And it's not worth it, especially if your life is good and you're doing good. Why even risk it because that's back to the other point of where we will get sober for a certain amount of time and feel like we figured out how to do it, and that's not the case. We have not figured it out. We are not going to figure it out. It's the sad truth. It is what it is. If you want to go back out there, you're most likely going to die or you're going to kill someone else. And do you even want that on your conscience? You could do something so bad where it ruins your life forever and you don't even die, but you're going to live in that misery for the rest of your life. I had a friend who or my old counselor, she told me she was dealing with a guy that was in prison, had gotten in an accident and killed his best friend, and wakes up in the hospital, and his best friend, he's asking where he is, and he was told he was dead because he killed him driving drunk. And he spent some time in prison, and this is why he needed the counseling. He got out. He's like, I don't care if I'm out of prison. I am now in prison in my mind for the rest of my life. I've killed my best friend, and it doesn't even have to be your best friend. I've drove around drunk and got DWIs. It is so dumb. It is just so dumb, but I am so blessed and fortunate that I didn't kill anyone or myself. Better yet, though, just kill anyone, because I didn't care about my life, or I wouldn't even have been doing it in the first place. But it's not worth it at all. And if you still have a good chance at life and you've beat the disease or you're fighting it, don't go back to it. Don't try to rationalize it. That's the disease. It's cunning, and it's going to trick you. You're going to start talking to yourself. Your addiction inside of your own mind is going to be telling yourself all these reasons to justify why you can do it. But why do you even need to do it? Is it really that fun? Is it that fun? It's not. There's so many things that are better to do in life with your time. And this is only for addicts. I'm not saying this if anyone sees this that can enjoy drinking and do it, because it's just not us. This is strictly for people that have problems. But I can only give my advice and hope people get it. And I'm only giving the advice that was so freely given to me through the Big Book and through AA and members and sponsors. And I love everyone, and I want to pass on as much knowledge as I can to people, because again, if you're there and your life is good, don't try to go back and risk it. You never know what could happen, and it's not 100% chance that you're going to beat it and you're going to get off scot-free and nothing bad will happen, because we all know, you got to remember those bad times. Those bad times are the reason we're here in the first place. That's all I got for today. I love you guys. Remember, one day at a time. Take it easy. Don't overthink things. Stress yourself out. Just be happy you're alive. Go do some positive stuff today, and take care. Peace out.